Euro 2004 was an eagerly anticipated tournament. Amongst the favourites were the likes of England, hosts Portugal, and the holders, France. Few fancied a Greek side that had only appeared at the tournament once before, but what happened next was an incredible underdog story that rocked the footballing world to its core. This is a story of Euro 2004, a Greek miracle. Euro 2004 would be hosted in Portugal. Greece travelled there for only their second appearance at the tournament, their first in 24 years. In their history at major tournaments, they had not only never won a game, they had never even scored a goal. But under the management of German Otto Rehhagel, they were keen to change this. Rehhagel had improved the fortunes of Greece, and they qualified for Euro 2004 with a 15-game unbeaten run. Greece were drawn in a difficult group, alongside Spain, Russia, and hosts Portugal. Vasilis Tiatis said they went into the tournament focusing on just getting a win, so that they could do what previous Greek sides had failed to accomplish. The first game was a true test of the Greek resolve. They would face hosts Portugal, who had the likes of Luis Figo, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Deco in their team. But astonishingly, it was to be the Greeks that came out on top. In the 7th minute, Georgios Karagounis became the first ever Greek player to score at an international tournament and gave the Greeks the lead. Angelos Bessinas doubled their advantage from the spot shortly after half-time to send them on the road to victory. Cristiano Ronaldo would net a late consolation, but the Greeks held on. They had their first ever win at an international tournament and were keen to use this as a start of something special. Greece's second game was against Spain. Whilst the Spanish had an excellent side, the Greeks were quietly confident, having beaten the Spaniards in Zaragoza the year before. Fernando Morientes gave Spain the lead in the 28th minute, but Charistias would level the score shortly after the hour mark, and Greece would hold on for a draw. The group was extremely tight, with Greece and Spain both on 4 points, whilst Portugal had 3. Greece would face Russia for a place in the knockout round. The game did not go to plan, with the Russians coming out as 2-1 winners. Fortunately, Portugal would defeat Spain 1-0, and Greece went through as group runners-up. They were in the quarter-finals, but faced a daunting task. They were up against a formidable French side. France had won their second European Championships 4 years before, and contained the likes of Robert Pires, Thierry Henry, and Zinedine Zidane. Many members of the Greek squad were amongst those who expected it to be the end of the road for them. Some of the Greek contingent were reported to have started setting out holiday plans on the basis that France would knock them out. Greece understood they were under threat, so set up a defensively focused game plan. Rehhagel instructed Giorgas Setaridis to man-mark Thierry Henry. Greece's defensive focus paid off wonderfully. The threats of Henry and Zidane were nullified, and in the 65th minute, Angelos Charistias put them 1-0 up. Greece's defensive resolve held out, and the game finished 1-0. They had knocked out the favourites and holders, truly announcing themselves to the world. Whilst many were critical of their defensive setup, it was able to get them results. They would face the Czech Republic for a spot in the final. Once again, Greece were the underdogs, with the Czech Republic being the only side to have won all 4 of their games. But once again, the Greek wall was unable to be broken. Greece held the Czechs out, and the game headed to extra time. And in the 105th minute, everything fell into place. Trinios Stellas netted a silver goal, and as the first period of extra time ended with Greece in front, they came out as winners. They had upset the odds once again to reach their first ever international final. Despite being the underdogs, Greece had not tugged at many heartstrings. Many grew frustrated with Rehhagel's pragmatic tactics, and they were described as many as the first underdogs everyone wanted to see beaten. Nonetheless, they were in the final, and had the chance to make history. The players in the squad realised they would never have a better shot at international glory, so were keen to make it count. They faced a rematch with Portugal. Despite beating Portugal in their first game, it was still a huge task for the Greeks to face. Coming up against the hosts in front of an expectant crowd would not be easy. The teams emerged at the Estadio del Luís in Lisbon. 15,000 Greeks were in attendance, but they were strongly outnumbered by Portuguese fans. Once again, the Greeks focused on parking the bus. And once again, it worked like a charm. The young Cristiano Ronaldo's threat was nullified, with a chance of his in the 90th minute being snuffed out when 7 Greek players were able to surround him. The defensive setup yet again was working wonders, and the game went into half-time goalless. Portugal were growing frustrated, and the expectations of their home crowd were causing them anxiety. The teams came back out for the second half to decide who would be the new champions of Europe. And in the 57th minute, Greece had a corner. The Greek fans eagerly anticipated the opportunity. The ball was swung into the middle by Angelos Bassinas. Portuguese goalkeeper Ricardo came out to meet it, but Greece had other ideas. Angelos Karistias met the ball with his head, and it went into the net. Greece had the lead, and the Portuguese were stunned. Portugal tried to use the goal as a wake-up call, and although they produced chances, nothing could come of it. Greece's defence was as ever resolute, and the script the Portuguese had written was being torn up. Portugal could not find the equaliser, and the full-time whistle went. Greece, a team who had entered the tournament with 80-1 odds, had stunned the world by becoming champions of Europe. They had defeated some of the best teams in the world along the way, so it certainly was not a fluke. Greece's captain, Theodoros Zagorakis, lifted the trophy in the air to signal a footballing miracle. Greece's team bus returned home with an inscription saying, "Ancient Greece had 12 gods, modern Greece has 11. Nobody could have predicted this outcome at the start of Euro 2004, and to this day, it still turns heads in shock. Greece may not have been the most glamorous underdogs, and had they played more attractive football, their victory may perhaps be spoken of more. But they were able to defeat the likes of Spain, France, and Portugal, despite being a side with no significant tournament success before. Otto Rehegal's style may not have been popular, but one cannot argue with the results. Greece's Euro 2004 victory is almost unlikely in football history, and it shows that when it comes to an international tournament, everyone has a chance, and no team is just there to make up the numbers.